to a sensational 6-goal thriller earlier this evening between MacArthur and Western United. And history between these two clubs certainly suggests that high-scoring games are the norm. For Melbourne City, they have been in fine form, 6 undefeated in the A-League, 8 undefeated in all competitions. Just 1 loss under Aurelio Vidmar since he took over from Rado Vidosic. Last weekend they came from behind courtesy of 2 stunning goals to defeat Western United. Goals from Saki and Antonis. Jamie McLaren is at the front of the line for Melbourne City. Marcelo, his opposite number, leading out the Western Sydney Wanderers, nominally the away side this evening for this Unite round, the bonus round, so Melbourne City are not denied a home match over the course of the season. Melbourne City starting favourites, courtesy of their recent record as well against the Wanderers, which is very much in the Melbourne club's favour. Well, Aurelio Vidmar has made just the 1 change. The defence that's kept just 1 clean sheet in their last 5 matches is unchanged, but there's a reshuffle in midfield and attack where Marin Jakulic is sidelined for a month with a hamstring strain. Former Wanderer Stevan Ugarkovic comes into the holding role in midfield. Hamza Saki steps up alongside Tolgay Arslan, and another former Western Sydney player, Alessandro Lopane, moves onto the wing. Of note in this Melbourne City lineup, on the bench, Andrew Naboot, back after 4.5 months sidelined with an Achilles injury. Jamie McLaren is their top scorer with 7 goals so far this season. He has 100 in 125 matches for Melbourne City. That's 4 goals every 5 games. And he has 18 in 19 matches against Western Sydney as well. His most favoured prey in the A-League. Well, for the Western Sydney Wanderers, Marco Rudan, their coach, he is looking to avoid back-to-back home defeats for the first time this season. He's made 2 changes. The best defence in the land sees Daniel Margouche continue in goal. The defence is unchanged for a 3rd match in a row, but there's no Jorrit Hendricks in midfield. That sees Oscar Priestman return alongside Josh Brillante. Up front, Dylan Parias is up against the club where his A-League career began, with Valentino Yule heading to the bench. He's alongside, on the bench, Milos Ninkovic. There is a young goalkeeper, Tiger Harper, just 18 years of age. Last season he was at Kashiwa Reysol, and he signed a scholarship deal earlier this week. Josh Brillante, plenty of responsibility on him in the middle of the park. He's one of 3 former City players in the Wanderers ranks. He spent a season at City, played 28 times, scored 1 goal, and of course that goal came against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Marco Rudan this week signed a new 3.5-year contract to keep him at the club until the end of the 2026-27 campaign. He said it again in the pre-match press conference. He is determined to bring a trophy to this club. What would be their first domestic trophy for a club of their stature. And there is Aurelio Vidmar, who in the 2009-10 season at Adelaide was Marco Rudan's coach at the Adelaide Reds. Jonathan Barrero is our referee for this evening's clash. He's being assisted by Brad Wright and Andre Kiev. Tim Danaskos is the 4th official, and Chris Griffiths-Jones is in the VAR room. Well, we've already seen one fantastic match to kick off Unite round. It continues with the second of this evening's doubleheader at Combank Stadium. Daniel McBreen, and a massive clash it is. Busy day for you as well behind the microphone, but this one is mouth-watering between City and the Wanderers.
Well, good evening, Robbie, and all the viewers out there. Yeah, you're right. Melbourne City, the benchmark for the last 3 or 4 seasons now, starting to hit their straps. Undefeated in 6, just 1 loss under new coach Aurelio Vidmar. And Western Sydney, who started so well, a bit up and down at the moment, but this will be great clash between third and fourth.
Now Western Sydney are playing at Combank Stadium, but they are the away side, which is why they're wearing their grey and black change strip. That's a great early pass, looking for Antonsen. Jamie Young is out quickly to claim Alexander Badalato with that ball over the top. It's his third consecutive start. He's only ever started 3 matches in his career, but of course he spent the last 3 years with Western Sydney. His former teammate Alessandro Lopane is on the opposite side. Those two that came through the ranks together. There is the foul by Lopane, looking to make a mark against his former club as well. Ferrero quickly across. There have been plenty of goals between these two sides. This fixture actually averaging nearly 3.5 goals per game. Last season it was a 3-2 win for Melbourne City, a 1-1 draw. The season before that, 3-1 win for City and a 3-3 draw. In fact, Western Sydney's last win against the Western Sydney Wanderers came back in 2019, home or away. Badalato again, releasing Milanovic. Has he managed to keep it in play? He has. Taking on Talbot. That's a great ball across, and Antonsen is there! 2.5 minutes on the clock, and the goals are already flowing. Western Sydney have an early lead at home.
Well, just like the opening match of the Unite round, a goal in the 3rd minute. Western Sydney, wonderful play down the left-hand side. Milanovic on the Harvey Norman replay did well here to keep the ball in, just did enough. And then he looks up, thinks, well, I need to do something special, cuts it back, and Antonsen with a lovely, neat finish into the bottom corner. They just went to sleep now. They'll check that VAR, won't they? Will they have the angle? But it was a lovely feat from Milanovic. He's been quality this season. And the Melbourne City defence just letting Antonsen drift free around that penalty area, and it's a neat finish. Well, there'll be some questions around, was that ball kept in?
It was a clinical finish on the left foot from Antonsen, as here we see Milanovic. He did just about keep it in, I think.
I think with the angle we're seeing there, remember a few years back the section of a ball going over the line, but that one looked to me, it's an incredibly difficult angle to see. If they were to overturn it from here, from that, it would be very harsh on Western Sydney.
Referee's assistant on the far side, again saying, I called it in, I called it in. Marco Rudan checking, so we're going to have the referee is going to come across and have a look now. Now, what angle is the referee going to have? Because
well,
that
you can see Marco Rudan saying it's impossible to tell from that angle.
Maybe it's not the ball going out though. Is it something else? Is there a handball?
Oh yeah, Jack Clisby's left hand there. Is that what they're looking at?
And he's caught Lopane with the foot as well. Not that that would necessarily be a foul. There's the ball breaking away.
You're right, I think it's that left hand of Jack Clisby that they're looking at, and we know that any handball leading up, or see there, he bats, it looks like his left hand goes towards the ball in a motion to back the ball, and I think this might be called back.
But not for the reason everyone thought at first.
Smoke and mirrors.
Now there you see the ball to release. They're checking. Well, are they checking anything more? There doesn't seem to be anything untoward. Otherwise, very hard to say categorically if the ball did go out of play without the camera on that sideline. So I think they must be checking this moment here. in Clisby's hand. Is that where they won possession? That's how far the referee is allowed to bring it back to. So is it a legal question now about who was in possession? The debate rages. Certainly Antonsen feels, and it's no goal, handball against Clisby. Well, he is one of the former City players. And there you see it, just tapping it down.
It's a great angle, that one, wasn't it? You can see there, just see him flick his hand towards the ball. Can't have any complaints when they see that back.
Well, we don't have our perfect start for the Western Sydney Wanderers after 3 minutes. But we have a confident start nonetheless, and another good ball over the top from Marcelo for Antonsen. Curtis Good, very good defending.
Well, it was 2 minutes 30 when that ball went in, 6 minutes 30 when we went out, so we need at least 4 minutes at the end of this half, don't we? Antonsen with another good run in behind. Just couldn't quite get the toe on it. Wanted to kill it.
First corner of the match. It will be Josh Brillante to take. Western Sydney very good from set pieces, very good in the air as well. 8 headed goals already this season. And it's a free header. Nick Milanovic straight at his former Western United teammate Jamie Young.
They do that so well, Western Sydney. They start 4 players in a line and they all break in different areas, and you see so often one of them gets free in all the commotion. On that occasion, Milanovic with the free header, straight down the throat of Jamie Young.
Clever from Arslan, we'll be saying that enough this evening. Natel back with Hamza Saki, playing a slightly more advanced role than in recent weeks. Saki, the absence of Jakulic, bringing back Ugarkovic into the middle of the park, but also Hamza Saki's confidence will be sky high after that remarkable goal last week.
It wasn't bad, was it?
He's also a fine free kick taker in this side as well. Radio Vidmar did reveal that he went off injured last weekend, and that was due to a back problem that he's been carrying with him the last few weeks, but that it's not enough to keep him out of the side. McLaren closing down Bonatig. Three straight starts for Bonatig since recovering from injury. Arslan. Little touch out with Talbot. Ugarkovic. Okay, Arslan again. These two sides, two of the best passing sides in the competition. Both love to hold the ball, play aggressively, press as well. Arslan, clever little touch for Saki. Natel's run inside, finds Galloway. His cross well blocked by Parius and Simmons.
What about the touch? Tolgay Arslan there. His awareness, just a cheeky little back heel, open up the play.
Suppléant all the way back to Jamie Young. Another former Western United teammate out there in Dylan Parius. Perhaps he just overhit. Here's Marcelo. It's a loose pass picked off by his compatriot Leo Natel. Dinks it over the top for Arslan again. Looking back for Leo Natel. Wasn't sure it was for him. Can't keep that in play from Parius. see that Western Sydney looking to transition quickly, setting up in that 4-4-2 defensively as Bonnetic is across to clear that ball away from under the nose of Jamie McLaren. Galloway waiting for the option. It comes in the form of Arslan eventually. The pressure from Oscar Priestman, who's impressed with the opportunities he's had this season under Marko Rudan. Now Ugarkovic against his former club, no way past Clisby. A little 1-2 out of defence, and Ugarkovic just clipping the heels of Josh Brillante. Again, Galloway sticking a foot in there for the challenge. Marcelo with Bonnetic. These two started the opening match of the season in the centre of defence before Bonnetic was injured in training. Here's Badalato. That's a clever little pass for Parias and a very good challenge from Saki.
Yeah, fantastic tracking from Saki there. Parias looked like he was away to a dangerous position. You see, timing of the run is exceptional. You see that little ball there to Parias. Saki needed to be there. Important touch.
Jack Clisby. They take it short with Badalato. Changing the angle. Ball back in. Leo Natel's header away. That's a great header back in from Simmons, but no free kick, says the referee. Clisby back to Daniel Margouche, who is the third choice keeper this season for Western Sydney, with Lawrence Thomas away with the Socceroos as they begin their Asian Cup campaign tomorrow evening against India. Jack Gibson has done his ACL and is out for the season in the warm-up 2 weeks ago. And last weekend against the Mariners, in fact it was a week ago. Last weekend against the Mariners, it was Pandazopoulos who had to wear the gloves, the young defender.
Didn't he have a sweat on, hoping that there was no more injuries?
Helmet's done well. That's why they've signed up their trainee goalkeeper, Tiger Hunter, 18-year-old Australian-Japanese goalkeeper who was actually in Japan last season with Kashiwa Reysol.
You see there, Jack Clisby with the left hand before to knock the ball forward. And this time with the right hand to the right to the mush, Callum Talbot.
Jack Gibson, fresh surgery on that left knee. What a devastating injury just a week after your A-League debut. Hamza Saki, Tolgay Arslan rather, with the free kick in. That's Marcelo with the header away. So good defensively. It's in large part thanks to Marcelo and the fact that he wins absolutely everything in the air.
He's a true leader, isn't he? The moment he turned up, years of experience at the top level.
He's already signed one new contract since he's been here, and there is some talk that there could be another on the desk waiting to be signed. That's a good ball looking for Parias. He's got plenty of pace, Dylan Parias, but Curtis Good is deceptively quick at the back as well.
They're keeping quite a high line, Melbourne City. Love to press. Western Sydney trying to use the pace to get in behind. Doing well there, Curtis. Good to win the goal kick as well.
Natel just misjudging that, but then Priestman couldn't get his little flick for Battolato. Saki, the team sheet we were handed, was playing a little higher up alongside Arslan in a inverted triangle midfield, if you like, of Ugarkovic at the back, and then 2 10s, but it looks more like probably 2 6s. Saki and Ugarkovic with Arslan pulling the strings further up the field. It's Saki's switch of play for Talbot, now Supreon. Curtis Good with Galloway. Doesn't have anyone coming towards him. Galloway's trying to go it alone against Simmons, who looks for the touchline for safety.
Well, he looked up there, Galloway, didn't he, for a blue shirt, and all he could see was the black of Western Sydney defenders in front of him.
Arslan again. Talbot. Jamie Young, long way out from his own goal. And then long from Curtis Good, looking for McLaren. Margouche right on the very edge of his area with a comfortable claim in the end. And really, after nearly 18 minutes, Macca, it's been a gentle start.
It has,
to this
really,
one.
hasn't it? A lot of probing balls like this one, trying to get him behind.
Ooh, and the mistake from Galloway has let Antonsen in here. His shot straight at Jamie Young.
That's one of the first ones to really have an outcome. It was a mistake. Antonsen done it quickly. Not a bad effort, but comfortable for Jamie Young in the end. It's really been a feeling out stage this opening 20 minutes. Very congested in the midfield area. Both teams looking to play a few balls in behind, start to stretch those defensive lines, which may open up some space in midfield.
Ugarkovic dispossessed. Antonsen is looking for the little wall pass for Milanovic. It's Saki that brings it out with Arslan. City trying to break. It's very well defended by Josh Brillante. Battolato can't control though. Now Tolga Arslan has stayed down holding his left calf. And City, what are they going to do? The players want the referee to stop play. The referee is not under any obligation, of course, unless the player needs treatment, which he will receive now.
No, it doesn't look too much. Well, we couldn't see what the moment was there. Comes in, there's a touch there, maybe just twist the ankle as they came together, but it seems quite innocuous, doesn't it?
Almost clean as a whistle, the challenge from Brillante, but getting the ankles checked. Maybe it was just banging his own ankles together. Tolga Arslan. Aurelio Vidmar with a change. Let's head down to Daniel Garb, who's on the sidelines for us this evening. Garby.
Good evening, Robbie. Hopefully Tolga Arslan's okay. We know how beautiful a footballer he is to watch in the A-Leagues. The fans are in fine voice. The red and black bloc usually are, of course, but they were in the stands, many of them, for the opening game between Macarthur and Western United, so they've been building up to this and creating a nice atmosphere in the second game in the first night of Unite round. At the other end of the ground, it's a bit quieter, but it is nice to see some Macarthur fans hanging around. Now, they don't live too far away from here in the west of Sydney, of course, but that's what Unite round's all about. Stay on board for another game, whether it's before yours or after and the MacArthur fans are doing that. So it's a nice atmosphere down here at ground level.
Fantastic derby. Looks like Tolgay Arslan is right to rejoin the fray. Good switch of play again for Talbot. Long raking ball against Clisby. Talbot, the cross is not a bad one. Marcelo. Well, towering above Jamie McLaren there. Just getting the glancing header, and Arslan allowing it to run out of play.
That's one of his strengths, isn't it? Marcelo, he's big and strong. His positioning's good on crosses. And a real feature of his game since coming to Western Sydney. Not much gets past him in the air in that area.
Hamza Saki drives it in. Plenty of pace on that. Excellent defensive header again. Galloway first to the broken ball. Talbot back. Now can City build again? Curtis Good with Saki trying to overload this left-hand side. They find Leon Natel early. He's got 2 goals to his name, Natel, and a free kick midway through the first half. The goals came against Brisbane in that record 8-1 victory. Just sandwiched as much as anything.
Yeah, see there, both players making contact.
Marco Rudan, who's... Oh, there's a yellow card. One of the Wanderers' technical staff, JP.
Took one for the team there, didn't he? Marco Rudan wasn't very happy with the giving of the free kick. And JP walks out and says, well, let me do the talking.
Now, Arslan's ball in, and it was Supreon, big French central defender, looking for the glancing touch. Another player who spent a lot of his career in Italy as well. Here's Natel, along with Tolgay Arslan, of course, who's just arrived from Syria. It's a good challenge. Natel, quick passing on the edge of the area, looking to create a little bit of space. Natel, no way past. Brillante. And the Wanderers. Very coolly done.
Well, that was great defending from Josh Brillante. Got back, shielded the ball. Oh, and now I've put the mockers on him.
Here's Ugarkovic. Natel was leaving it for Arslan. Simmons was alert to the danger, and now he's charging forward. It's a fantastic pass, releasing Priestman. 3 in the middle and up front for Western Sydney. Oh, he was looking for Badalato. It was intercepted by Saki. They have it back. Priestman again with Brillante. Marcelo. Farias isolated on this right-hand side with Bonatig under pressure from McLaren. It's a fantastic goal-scoring record against Western Sydney. Jamie McLaren. Mind you, it's pretty good against every other A-League side.
I was about to say, pick up any team in the A-League and he's done well.
His 8th A-League club hat-trick came against Brisbane 2 weeks ago. 100 goals in 125 matches for Melbourne City. That is some record.
Well, he's been phenomenal, hasn't he?
first top-flight striker in Australia to score 100 goals for a club since a certain Bobby Despotovski. Did so with Perth Glory. Most of Bobby Despotovski's Perth Glory goals coming in the old NSL. Few in the A-League.
I'm pretty sure I played in games with Bobby Despotovski scored against us. Perth Glory. They were good back in the day, weren't they?
Just saw McLaren's career stats there. 151 A-League goals in total. Oh, that's a great pass for Parias. Great goal. Wonderful ball from Battleato. Releasing Dylan Parias in behind. Marco Rudin asking if there was anything wrong with that one. It looked pretty good from up here. Wonderful clinical finish.
Well, Harvey Norman replay will show wonderful play. Look at that little reverse pass for Dylan Parias and a clinical finish. Lots of blue bodies everywhere. Good run from Parias and a little reverse pass there. Just here from Battleato is exquisite. Dylan Parias does the rest. Everyone looking one way, ball goes the other. Tucks it down past the hand of Jamie Young. They didn't get their goal earlier on. Well, they're 1-0 to the good now. A little wry smile at the end.
You can never quite tell with Marco if he's serious or not. Was he really asking for VAR against his own team? This time they have their goal, they have their lead. And a first goal involvement in the career of Alexander Battleato as well, with a beautiful assist for Parias. His second goal for the Western Sydney Wanderers after he got the winner against Adelaide earlier this season. Western Sydney, when they score first this season, they go on with it. 5 wins out of 5 before this evening. He's had to bide his time for those first starts. It's his 11th A-League appearance for Battleato, but his 3 starts, they've come in the last 3 weeks.
It was a wonderful ball, wasn't it? We saw all the Melbourne City shirts looking to step to the left. Little reverse pass with a run for Parias. It was beautiful. Opened up the defence. It was a tidy finish as well from Parias.
And the mistake. They've got another chance here, and Jamie Young, Parias almost had a double.
I'll tell you what, Jamie Young just played that ball forward. I think it was to Agarkovic, and he was surrounded by Western Sydney players. It was Sakharov, sorry. But under immense pressure looking to play out.
Well, last weekend, Melbourne City came from behind for the first time this season to win after conceding the opening goal. Aurelio Vidmar said that he was very unhappy with the first half performance last week. Perhaps his side haven't quite learnt their lesson yet.
No. They haven't really hit their straps, have they? This is a really well-oiled defensive unit in Western Sydney that they're playing against in their stadium. It's not easy by any means.
It's a good ball, and Simmons does ever so well. Looked as though for a moment Natel was going to get the shoulder in front.
What we haven't seen from Melbourne City really is Arslan Saki getting on the ball in midfield to be able to face forward, look to unleash one of those probing passes. Western Sydney looking very well organised. They've shut down the space. And when the balls have gone over the top like that, they've been there to clean it up.
Clearance by Margouche, only finds the head of Natel. Arslan, clever pass. Ugarkovic, has he been fouled there by Priestman? Yes, says referee Jonathan Barrero.
Yeah, well, he was in space, Steve Ugarkovic, but when he turned, Priestman was there and he just readjusted the ball. Priestman just bumps into him, knocks him off his balance. This is a dangerous area for Western Sydney.
And three of their stars are standing over this one. Arslan steps away, so does Leo Natel, and this one's going to be for Hamza Saki. He's a free kick specialist. Oof, that was very, very close. Well, sooner or later it's going to happen because he's getting closer and closer.
Well, he hit that one well. I just kept my eyes on Daniel Margouche, who was just jogging across, which told the pitcher that it was going wide. He wasn't scrambling. Not a bad strike, just didn't get the radar on that one. It's just the second shot. 4 shots from Western Sydney, 4 of them on target.
Clever little nod down. Again from Antonsen, for Milanovic, now Parias. Parias! Well, he turned inside and made space for the shot.
That's a couple of opportunities now for Parias. Ball around the edge of the box. There, just doesn't quite catch it. You can see he wants to try and aim for that far side.
I mean, we say it often, threading the needle, but that really was.
Yeah. Again, that man there, Aiden Simmons has done wonderfully well to get back. Got the touch that was really needed.
Marcelo is never far from getting involved when there's a little bit of words, and both have played in Turkey as well, will know each other well. And the temperament that goes with it. They love their football. Simpson does well to get his head on that, surrounded by City Blue shirts, but the reigning premiers have it back again. Jamie Young. We're seeing most of this match being played in the middle. Western Sydney seeing a little bit more of the ball in their defensive third. Probably nothing too concerning for coach Marco Rudan. His side are playing with less of the ball, but they are looking dangerous on the transition. And looking pretty solid at the back as well, to be fair. There's Bonatig. Takes a risk or two. How about that? The youngster, just 21 years of age, from the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. They've played their way all the way through here. Parias' cross is brilliant. Oh! And now the follow-up, and put wide by Bonatig. A Priestman, rather, who shot over the crossbar with the goal at his mercy.
Well, if that went in, it would have all started with Bonatig at the back there with some brave play. Jamie Young with the brilliant save from Antonsen, and Oscar Priestman, he has to finish that there. What a ball that is from Parias. Deft little touch, and it's on a platter for Priestman. And we all thought that was going to end up in the back of the net. And he cannot believe it. And those are the kind of moments that can change a game.
Because instead of a 2-goal lead, it's a 1-goal lead with 10 minutes to go in the first half. What an opportunity. No free kick for handball. I get the feeling Natel was looking for that there.
Yeah. Gone are the days when he can just flick it up into the hand now. Just going back to that opportunity. Ball started. Alex Bonatig at the back. Real aggressive play, drove in. Wonderful football from Western Sydney. It would have been one of the team goals of the season if it went in.
It was almost a perfectly cheeky, nonchalant finish as well from Antonsen. Just too close to Jamie Young, who thrust out a left boot and managed to clear. Can you see the press coming on Hamza Saki? They managed to play out of it again. Now good. Looks up again. Western Sydney with their 2 lines of 4, very close, very disciplined, very hard to play through.
Hayden Simmons has been absolutely fantastic in that right back position. He's read everything that's put through. He's got his body there, he's got the touch when needed. When he wins the foul.
Now, Jonathan Barrero has given Marco Rudan a yellow card there. Now, he is just outside his technical area. It's a second yellow card for the Western Sydney Wanderers staff. Now Milanovic trying to dribble his way through. He's done well. Milanovic is still there as he somehow managed to get a final poke on the ball. Natel with the ball in. It's a good ball, finding Arslan, who took a touch before it was cleared away.
It was a cheeky ball, wasn't it? No backlift. Just toe poked it through. Down the feet of Arslan. Just couldn't reel it in.
Rudan with that new contract. Coach that grew up in Sydney's West. Took them back to finals football for the first time since 2017. Last season. And this season they're having built on their defence. They're now looking to play more aggressive brand of football this season against the past masters at that of steamrolling sides, which is Melbourne City over the past few years in the A-League. Saki again releasing Talbot with Ugarkovic. Time to cross, good ball back post, just over Leo Natel.
Well, he just mistimed that, Leo Natel, didn't he? It wasn't a bad ball. Just held his run a little bit. May have been able to attack that one. Just found himself underneath the ball a little.
Simmons with the throw. There you see screen in screen with the space afforded Ugarkovic. Bonatig. Marcelo. Farias again trying to use his pace, and Curtis Good showing the first signs of a little frustration there. But his forwards and midfield not closing down.
Yeah. He doesn't want to have to be chasing Dylan Farias all night. He may be quick. No one wants to do that all night.
We spoke about Marco Rudan's contract extension. Marcelo Jorrit Hendricks as well is another who's believed to be negotiating an extension already. Antonsen. Brandon Borello as well, as it's a good ball in. Curtis Good with the initial header. Oh, Jamie Young spilt it under pressure from Marcelo. Western Sydney looking to secure the elements that have brought them their success. Certainly Jorrit Hendricks this season, but Marcelo and Borello the last 2 years with Coach Rudan as well. Here goes Clisby charging forward. Milanovic, cross deflected, that was heading in, and Jamie Young concedes the corner, had to react quickly.
Well, he's looked lively again, hasn't he, Milanovic? This time he looks to fire it across to Antonsen, but the deflection takes it inside the post of Jamie Young. Got down well. They're dominating the shots, Western Sydney. They've kept Melbourne City, who have scored 10 goals in their last 2 matches, without a shot on target.
Rolante with the corner. In it comes, back post, Marcelo. Well, somehow he's only got 1 goal this season. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, he finds himself free so often. He's so dominant in the air. And his headers, see there, it's just wide of the post. And it's remarkable how he doesn't have more goals, because he tends to win those more often than not.
Goal came in that incredible first half here against Western United. 5-0. Milanovic got a couple. So did Lockie Brook. Not the other 2. He's on the bench, so there's attacking power to come from everywhere. Interesting, talking of attacking dangers for Western Sydney, Badalato becomes the 13th player to provide an assist for the Wanderers this season.
Sharing is caring, isn't it? It's a team game. Everyone's doing their bit for the team.
Arslan, he knew what was coming.
Oh, that was professional football at its finest there, wasn't it? A little cheeky look over the shoulder, stuck the body in, took the touch, felt the pretty heavy touch as well. Marcelo, we like to let him know he's there.
That won't mind Arslan either. He's seen plenty of that, and here he goes. Just couldn't take it with him. It was well played, Leo Natel, who's got it back. Now looking to get away from Simmons. He's done brilliantly. Natel's ball near post, and Arslan was there again. He claims he was fouled, Marcelo, and those two continue their little tete-a-tete, which has been going all match. And he did brilliantly just to get the angle on that shot, yeah. Tolgay Arslan.
Yeah, and I must admit, on first viewing, I didn't think there was any touch at all from anyone else, but we'll have another look here. Just as he gets his touch away. Yeah, I guess it's just a blocking motion from Bonatig, isn't it? And their feet come together.
Now we see it from a different angle. Marcelo again wants to have more words. Tolgay Arslan just ignoring him. Marcelo just wants to keep going. Has worked against him occasionally, Marcelo. He's a dominant character, the alpha defender. He wears the captain's armband. He likes to set the tone for Western Sydney. Marco Rudan loves his character as well.
Well, he's old school, isn't he? He likes to chat, he likes to get into people's ears, he likes to try and intimidate with the verbals. And we all know he can back it up with the frame of his and his application of it sometimes.
6 minutes of stoppage time. We're a minute and a half into that. And we may have another little addition to that as well after that last stoppage. The Tolgay Arslan. Arslan again. Coming deep. Not to get away from Marcelo, I don't think, but just find a little bit of space as well. It's something they've really struggled with. City so far. Saki. Again, it's his go-to ball, that big switch to Talbot. Lopane ahead of him. Talbot does well to find a little bit of space. He was shooting on sight last weekend. Looking for that first ever A-League goal. Got one in the Asian Champions League this season. And a 3-3 draw away to Benfore Kofu. Bonatir goal. Well, it's a dangerous game when you're playing cat and mouse with Jamie McLaren in the box.
Yeah, they've looked comfortable, haven't they, Western Sydney Wanderers in defence? Haven't really been stretched at all. Still without a shot on target, Melbourne City.
Strong from good. Now Arslan. To return the favour a little bit on Marcelo.
Well, it's been a running battle, hasn't it? See Marcelo on that occasion the same. We saw Arslan do it to him earlier. Waited for the contact and down he went. Two old heads having a running battle.
Well, the two old heads, the two, in terms of football as well, most experienced players on the pitch. Big players, Champions League football experience, top flight European football, and it's like they've just gravitated towards each other so often in this match. Supreon with Curtis Good. Galloway. Back again, and that just highlights again how difficult it's been for Melbourne City. Western Sydney haven't always pressed high, and when they have, it's been effective. They've had a couple of high turnovers, and what they've really done is crowd out the space here. This has been City's only outlet in that first half, and Talbot's got space again for the cross towards McLaren.
Well, we've spoken a lot about Marcelo tonight, but Alex Bonatir has been sensational as well, both on the ball and without.
Saki, that set-piece free kick of his is really as close as Melbourne City have come. Talbot has it again on the right-hand side. He looks inside for Ugarkovic. Saki wants it on the right, glides past one. Marcelo came out to meet him, spotting the danger. Arslan again. Natel trying to turn. It's Simmons this time. Oh, Marcelo almost had his pocket picked by McLaren. That's a rare loose ball forward from the Wanderers just to buy some time. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Good with Arslan. Is this the moment for Melbourne City? Again, there's space for Talbot, who looks up and crosses towards Leon Natel. Fantastic defensive header again, but Ugarkovic is there. Steven Ugarkovic trying to get down to the byline. He's kept it in, only just. Claimed by Margouche, and that is the final action of the first half of football here at Combank. It took a little while to get going. It's been a really tactical battle out there so far. Antonsen thought he'd given the Wanderers a 3rd-minute lead, only for a Jack Clisby handball to pull them back. There's been a running battle between Tolgay Arslan and Marcelo that Jonathan Barrero has been keeping an eye on. But the goal, it came from Dylan Parias in the 27th minute, and that is the difference between the two sides at the break. The Wanderers leading Melbourne City by 1-0.
That I am. I'm here with the Dutch star of Western Sydney, Jorrit Hendricks, who unfortunately is injured at the moment. We'd love to see you out there, Jorrit. But your night round, all the games in the same city, a doubleheader tonight. That must be a little bit different for a foreigner.
Yeah, I never experienced something like that before, but I think it's nice for the city as well. We came here a little bit early, so watched some of the game before here, Macarthur against Western. So I think for the people who love soccer in Sydney, it's a great opportunity for them to enjoy the games.
That it is. The injury to you, how long are you going to be out? When can we see you back there?
Well, it's difficult to say, but I can say it's not too worse. But this game, unfortunately, came a little bit too early for me. So I hope to be back soon, maybe sooner than expected, but it's not that worse.
That'd be nice if you're back pretty soon, because we are loving watching you in Australia at the moment. You signed a one-year contract. Hopefully that will be extended. But how much are you enjoying life in Australia and in the A-League, Jorrit?
To start with the A-League, I'm positive surprised. I did some research before I came, but I'm really enjoying the games, the high intensity. The weather made it difficult sometimes, but getting fitter every week, so I'm really enjoying the soccer, sorry. And living in Sydney with my family it's a great experience. We saw it as a big adventure, and we really love being here.
You can call it football with us anytime, mate. Hopefully you stay in Australia for a lot longer. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Craig Goodwin delivers the free kick in. It's a good ball, and it's the opening goal from the towering Harry Suter. Miller is there with Metcalf. He dinks the ball back in. Great header. Mitch Duke. What a story. 11 goals now in green and gold. Well, this is the moment that separates the two sides here at Combank Stadium. Dylan Parius against the club where he made his A-League debut. Played 3 times for Melbourne City before heading to pastures new in the form of Western United in 2019. 94 A-League matches for them before joining Western Sydney this season. Well, we just saw the Melbourne City players who have been warming up during the half-time break, and there is one very familiar face. Incredible to see him back. Andrew Naboot, the Socceroo, just 4.5 months after his last appearance in the Australia Cup, 4 months after rupturing his Achilles tendon, and he is back on the pitch. Now, 4 months might just be enough time to get you back standing from an Achilles, but he's been full training for 2 weeks. Daniel McBreen, you know all about it as well.
Well, yeah, as someone who ruptured my Achilles 11 months ago, I still don't think I would be running around out there now. Maybe there's a slight difference in our age and our recovery time, but yeah, that's remarkable. Let's hope it all goes well for him from here, because we all want to see him back out on the pitch.
And I'm sure those fans up Newcastle Way can't wait to see you back on the pitch. Daniel McBreen as well.
They'll be waiting.
Well, Melbourne City are all set to go. They're hungry. They need a big second half here against a Western Sydney Wanderers side who were stung by their home loss a week ago to the Central Coast Mariners. Marco Tullio with the goal. Even if Marco Rudan said in the pre-match press conference the team have been playing well, just not getting the results. Well, if they keep playing well, they'll pick up a crucial 3 points here and move provisionally second on the league and standings, ahead of the other matches in this Unite round. Huge weekend of A-League football, both in the Isuzu Ute A-League and the Liberty A-League competitions. And Daniel McBreen, we've chatted Achilles tendons and ruptures and otherwise. We may yet see Andrew Naboot in this second half, which would be that remarkable comeback, but could he come on and win this match for Melbourne City? That's the big question, because they need to do something different
Well,
here.
they do, yeah. Western Sydney has looked reasonably comfortable in defence. We haven't seen anything in the way of a shot on target from Melbourne City, normally so prolific. They haven't really been able to get their star midfielders on the ball facing forward in any dangerous areas.
And it's Simmons who brings the ball away here as well with Antonsen. Badalato, who's just trying to find a little bit of space, run it out over that far touchline. These two sides do take a lot of shots at goal. Melbourne City, second top scorers in the division, although that statistic is somewhat skewed by those 8 goals that came 2 weeks ago.
Hang on, they've scored them. How is it skewed?
Those goals have come recently. They did score them. As they've turned it over there, Jamie Young with Priestman onto his right foot. And again, he stings the gloves of Jamie Young, but that's the second time we've seen them play themselves right into trouble.
Yeah, and you can only think that maybe if he played that ball first time to Antonsen, he's in the box, takes a touch, or he just lets it roll past him and opens his body. Him on the ball in those areas. He's had a couple of opportunities, Priestman. He won't want to see the first half one again.
And he's a very highly rated young player, was captain of the Sydney FC NPL side before heading west. And he's been given his opportunity under Marco Rudan here.
He's done well, hasn't he?
Big boots to fill as well in the absence of Jorrit Hendricks. heard from at half-time, chatting to Daniel Garb. There he is, just that groin strain keeping him out at the moment, chatting there with Brandon Borello. Suffered that broken bone in his foot. But every player at Western Sydney talks about the spirit within the squad, how well everyone gets on. That helps when you're defending against a side like Melbourne City. Brillante with Antonsen. Referee, that's very nicely done by Parias. The referee was just about getting in the way there, but now they managed to bring it forward. Clisby with Milanovic. It's been prominent, Milanovic, but it had that one effort, that cross that was deflected goalwards in the first half. He's an important player in this Western Sydney side. That's not on show as much as we've seen early on this season.
Well, he's got himself amongst the goals and assists. It's been a breakout season really for him. And he does look dangerous in most games that he's out there.
Another Western Sydney boy originally that followed Marco Rudan to Western United. And back. Suprayon with Curtis Good. When you're defending a one-goal lead like this, discipline is so important. Galloway's cross, Bonatig with the header away. Throw, Arslan finding a little bit of space, flicks it up. Arriving there, McLaren is there, Lopane. It was his jump for the header that missed everything. Caused just a moment's panic in the box.
Looks like they're going to be checking something here. Not sure what they were checking, but we go on.
The check is complete, that's the main thing. Melbourne City back onto the front foot. That's a clever little pass for Natel, who rides that challenge. And Margouche came out quickly on a tight angle. Milanovic again. Bonatig to Margouche, now Marcelo. Big switch for Milanovic. Trying to get in front of Ugarkovic. Just a little slip at the crucial moment, but there's support there in the form of Badalato. He looks up now. Oh, Priestman. Clisby was charging forward for an overlapping run. Managed to put the brakes on just early enough. Good run from Antonsen. Off the shoulder of Suprayon. Attacking throw for Western Sydney now, so after a couple of minutes of pressure up the other end.
Well, this is off the back of Milanovic making that run in behind Ugarkovic. He had no right to get there. Just stuck out a toe, stole the ball off Ugarkovic, and now Western Sydney have a little bit of field position. It's little moments like that can go unrecognised at times, but it can just alter the shape of the game.
Western Sydney again. Oh, it's a good ball. Simmons, one way then the other. And finally the angle just a little too tight. Galloway doing just enough.
There's another one that's been great tonight as well. Simmons himself in a good position there in the end. Just too many blue shirts. Galloway did just enough to get the block on.
Talbot. Well, he had a difficult option up the line. It was already difficult enough, it was going to be for Lupane, but the ball just straight out of play. Rudan wants his side to maintain the intensity. Saki just catching Priestman. Bonatig again, all the way back with Margouche. Now long. Bonatig again, it's Milanovic making that run in behind. It's perfectly weighted pass. And Curtis Good, well, he was frustrated in the first half. Chasing Badalatu, now he's chasing Milanovic around.
Well, it was a good run and ball, and I think just there where he makes the decision that he wants to chest the ball down rather than maybe lob it over the retreating Young. That's where he lost the moment. It was another good run, great ball. Curtis Good again having to cover, ball over the top.
Good's frustration again coming, I think, towards his midfield for not putting enough pressure on, allowing that ball to be played in the first half. First instance, as that's a nice pass for Talbot. McLaren's in the middle. Well, the bouncing ball too much for Callum Talbot. As it stands, Western Sydney will be moving above Wellington Phoenix. And since it will be with 6 wins apiece, we can say courtesy of goal difference. Although Wellington Phoenix have a game in hand, so we'll be able to reclaim that second spot later in this Unite round. The red and black block still making plenty of noise in what is their home ground, of course. All 12 matches this weekend. 6 in the Isuzu Ute A-League, 6 in the Liberty A-League being played. In Sydney. Marcelo had to be alert there. Natel was looking for that early ball to release McLaren. Very well defended Talbot. Inside with Ugarkovic. Arslan, now this is where City can be dangerous. A little bit of broken play. Maybe Western Sydney not quite as organised. Tolgay Arslan again. Saki with Galloway. Ugarkovic back outside with Natel, the chance to run one-on-one. That's Simmons, early cross. Acrobatic and above all flexible from Marcelo.
Showing the old park football, isn't it? The cow kick, we used to call that one. Some of the flexibility, a bit of adaptation as well.
Saki. Glancing header cleared by Parias. Well, it wasn't well struck, but it almost fell to Badalato. The cross in again towards the back post. Margouche, elected by his own player, managed to get a double-fisted punch to it. This is going to be a long 33 minutes for Western Sydney if they just sit back and try and defend, because Melbourne City are just starting to look a little more threatening, a little more menacing. That's well defended, Simmons. Antonsen hits the accelerator ahead of him. Simmons, great run, burst of pace. And then fouled by Ugarkovic, yellow card.
Well, just to rubber stamp the performance he's having tonight. What a run that is. And not much around him, and you see there he uses the body well. Stephen Ugarkovic just grabs the shirt and slides in as well for good measure. That's That's a great surging run from the young man. Intercepted right down in the corner of his own end of the field.
Western Sydney and their supporters looking for a rare victory over Melbourne City. Just one win in their last 12 matches against Melbourne City, and that came back in March 2019. A free kick, a long way out, but Milanovic looks to be lining it up. He strikes it. Jamie Young didn't move. Perhaps like Margouche in the first half, he knew that it was going wide.
This angle gives a better look. Yeah, it's always going high.
Garkovic again. Parias against Galloway. Parias, it's a great run into the area. Parias still going. And the ball just got stuck under his feet, and then Antonsen with the follow-up from an impossible angle, was going for the roof of the net and almost found it.
Well, he just kept going, Dylan Parias, didn't he? Turned on the afterburners, and when you think he's just going to cut it back, he keeps going and going, and then he just gets it caught up under his feet. And Antonsen, a good striker, sees the opportunity, gets the strike away. Always going to be difficult from that angle.
Shots 9-6 in Western Sydney's favour. Just as Melbourne City was starting to look a little more menacing, it's Western Sydney who find the response. Lopane with Talbot. Talbot's cross blocked by Bonatig, and the break is on here. Antonsen with Milanovic, 3-on-3. What can Western Sydney make of this? Antonsen wasn't the easiest of passes. Curtis Good has been holding things together at the back for Melbourne City this evening.
Yeah, he's been a standout in that back line for them. He's swept up everything that's come his way. Milanovic doing the right thing, going inside, trying to create the angle. Curtis Good, well positioned again.
Natel, judged to have fouled Simmons, who's been another standout defensively.
Yeah, he has been fantastic for mine tonight.
Substitutions coming, and this is quite remarkable. Steven Ugarkovic makes way 61.5 minutes into round 12 of the A-League season, and Andrew Nabbout has recovered from an Achilles tendon injury suffered just 4 months ago to return to action. And it couldn't have come at a better time, with Jakulic missing through injury as well. The experience and quality, and the stage is set for Andrew Nabbout here.
Well, you said it, Robbie. It's truly remarkable, the turnaround that got him back out there.
It's Lopane who's moved back into that central midfield alongside Hamza Saki, where he has been playing in recent weeks. Lopane just getting a word from his bench, I think, there. Peter Kratke and Aurelio Vidmar just saying, play a little bit higher up, we need a goal. So it's Hamza Saki who has inherited that Ugarkovic number 6 role as Lopane heads back.
Well, he's been largely unsighted in this match, hasn't he, Lopane? that'll bear some more fruit for him in that position.
Simmons again does brilliantly well. Parias charging forward. The cutback might yet fall for Priestman. Still looking to make amends for that missed opportunity in the first half. Again, Simmons, lightning quick, bursting forward, and now look at the space here for Tolgay Arslan. Wide with Naboo. Andrew Naboo comes inside, hits it left-footed, and it just didn't curl back. Corner, offside, given.
Yeah, he just went just a fraction too early. It wouldn't that have been the headlines. His first touch on his return. You see here, just steps. And before he comes back, he's in an offside position. And the game's starting to open up just a little bit now. It's been a very tight affair for the majority of the game.
Very coolly done again from Alex Bonatig. Very comfortable on the ball. Marcelo. Now Parias, who looks as dangerous as ever from those broken passages down the right-hand side. Here he is again, looking to get forward on the end of that pass from Simmons. Lopane able to turn, finds Arslan. And again, they've got numbers forward here. Naboo arriving at the back post. Leo Natel. Natel still going, it's deflected. And an easy one for Margouche. Simmons can't keep that in play. Suprayon with good. Saki looking for Talbot. Ball either arrowing in there, but just overhit.
Yeah, the space did open up in front of Talbot. They closed down again. Crispy came across. They're creating a good atmosphere tonight, aren't they, the red and black block?
And they are doing their bit to defend this one-goal advantage as well. Again, it's long from Marcelo for Antonsen. It's done very well again, the number 9. Badalato with Parias, and Antonsen just couldn't find him. Galloway brings it away in the absence of Aziz Bayic. He's in Qatar with the Socceroos, the regular left-back for Melbourne City. Milanovic. It's a lovely turn and space here for Priestman. Parias arriving at the back post. The ball across the face. Oh, and Parias. He just, again, pulled up. He couldn't get there. The pass was late. It doesn't come off. And it's a real chance gone begging.
Yeah, it was a wonderful opening. I think Priestman could have played it a little earlier, one touch earlier, and just rolled it across the face of the goal, and Dylan Parias would have been able to step on it. He balked, he took an extra touch, and then it just became a little too tight for him.
They will rue these missed chances if they are made to pay, the same way Western United were last week. Still they stay in their formation. Arslan looking for Lopane. Saki follows up with Naboo. Here's cutback. Bounces off Priestman. Rolante Finds Antonsen. Again, it was another good first touch from Antonsen. Now, does that come off the hand of Talbot? Talbot not happy with a few words for Jonathan Barrero. Substitution coming. And it's Oscar Priestman who's making way, and Tom Beadling, who's only just returned from injury, is making way. Oscar Priestman, he's had chances to get that first A-League goal, but he's certainly not lacked energy. The young midfielder filling the boots of Jorrit Hendricks this evening. Beadling, who is a midfielder by trade, we've also seen play in the centre of defence with the Wanderers since returning from England last season. He's gone straight into that midfield role alongside Josh Brillante. Lisby back. Natel wins it off that loose pass from Marcelo. Nabu with Lopane. He hits it. Heading towards that bottom corner. Well, he scored. Lopane, that late equaliser against the Mariners in that thrilling 3-3. Had a 3-3 earlier today. Just the one goal so far this evening, but it has all the hallmarks of a thriller to come in these final minutes as well. Parias again hits the afterburners. Galloway back. Beadling battling hard, has to acclimatise to the pace, the intensity of the game very quickly. Here's Simmons. He's forced Tate Russell out of the starting 11 after a great start to the season for Russell. Here's Brillante, a little bit of space to turn and face. Misunderstanding between Badalato and Milanovic. How about that from Arslan for Lopane? McLaren ahead of him. Ball and all challenge from Badalato. Maybe not so much ball. Nabu. Hose down. Holding that Achilles very worryingly. The challenge was from Milanovic. As we head up the other end, Andrew Nabu still down. The cross in. Well, he's going to get back to his feet, Nabu, after a big scare for everyone inside the stadium, particularly on the Melbourne City bench. Gingerly back to his feet and back into the contest. Heart-in-mouth moment.
Yeah, I think the first few challenges we see with Andrew Nabu, we'll all have our heart in our mouths.
Here's Natel. There you see it again, the challenge. Oh, it's the cross. Almost found Nabu again. Milanovic clears it. You don't always need 6 goals to have a thriller, as we see another change coming for Melbourne City. And as they need a goal, with 20 minutes left, it's the rare side of Jamie McLaren being substituted out. The club's all-time leading goal scorer, with 7 goals already this season, makes way, and it's the club's youngest ever goal scorer, Max Caputo, who comes into the game. So it's a big ask of the youngster Caputo, just 17 years of age. Scored against the Newcastle Jets last season to become the side's youngest ever goal scorer. They can do with that second goal now. There he is. Suprayon charging forward, gets it wide with Nabu. He straightens up. Lopane back with Talbot. His cross underhit, headed away by Bonatig. see Western Sydney preparing to make a change or two of their own. As the cross in, Simmons heads it behind and out for a corner. Those changes probably won't come now. Valentino Yule is one that's been taken quickly. The cross in, cleared by Marcelo. Now we might see the change, and it is a double change coming for Western Sydney. Valentino Yule and Milos Ninkovic is coming on as well for just his 4th appearance of the season. Sidelined with injury in the early weeks of the campaign, the Serbian veteran will be precious in being able to hold on to the ball as well, and perhaps distill a couple of important passes on the counter-attack. Valentino Yule will bring power and directness to that attack. Natel able to turn, that's ambitious, can't get beyond Clisby. And now those changes will come. So Nick Milanovic is coming off for Valentino Yule. And Badalato is the other player making way for Milos Ninkovic. These Western Sydney players, few of them have ever tasted victory against Melbourne City, certainly not with Western Sydney. Jack Clisby, who was here many years ago, is probably the exception of this current squad. But they're just 15 minutes away from doing it now. Marco Rudan, who played under Aurelio Vidmar at Adelaide United 14 years ago, is now looking to get one over his old boss. Lopane with Arslan. They need a bit of his magic. Natel's touch. The cross towards Lopane. The two coaches. It has been a real tactical battle this evening, and you'd have to say in the first 76 minutes Marco Rudan's side has had the upper hand. They have said to City, have the ball, give it your best shot. They have kept them at arm's length, but it could change from a set piece. Cleared by Bonatig again, another who has been exceptional at the back. It has been a defender's match this evening. Here's Cook. Good, rather. Curtis Good. Lopane, back with Galloway. There is the ladder as it stands. Here is Caputo with Arslan. His shot blocked, brilliantly blocked again by Bonatig. Saki. Talbot with Saki again. Looks up, waits to measure the ball. He for Leo Natel, it wasn't an easy one for him to try and control. These are these passages of play where you see the confidence of Western Sydney to just allow City the ball and say, see what you can do.
Yeah, they've done well to repel everything so far.
Here they come again. Lupane, Natel, and that's the result. A little bit of frustration.
Yeah, and they had numbers forward as well there, City. A few players just gave a little glance to Natel to say, come on. But they are coming. Western Sydney, it's almost been like a training defence session, hasn't it? Against the team coming at them in waves.
City's chance to pay out. Aurelio Vidmar, there was a change in his coaching staff this week. One Dutchman replacing another. Mike van Houten, goalkeeping coach, returning to the Netherlands and replaced by Sander Krabbendam, who's arrived from the Ajax Amsterdam Youth Academy. Probably one of Johnny van Schip's men getting the chance to come out and ply his trade down under, working with Jamie Young. There's Piraeus with that marauding run, and it's a yellow card for Hamza Saki.
Well, he's been good down that right-hand side, hasn't he? Piraeus, a little theatrical with the way he went down there, but definite foul. On knee. There's only one way you could go there. Curtis Good was coming across. He was going to cut inside. Saki had to bring him down really because the pace of the man could have gone all the way through.
10 minutes left to play and two more changes coming as well for Western Sydney. We just saw Marco Rudan with some instructions for Marcus Yunus and Gabriel Cleur. There's an experienced fullback who's preparing to come into the game as well. Monatig was just running forward to get on the end of the set piece when all the coaching staff, he heard stop and get back. Now the ball is to the back post, and Beadling did get his head on it as well. Saki again. That crossfield ball looking for Nabu. Talbot's done well. Got the better of Yule with Lopane. Needs to find an option though. Nabu. Talbot's cross is a good one towards Caputo. He managed to get his head on it, but he couldn't direct it goalwards. Out for a goal kick. The youngster that replaced Jamie McLaren with his first sighting on goal. Here come those changes with Piraeus making way, Antonsen as well for Gabriel Cleur, and Yunus. Piraeus' goal that separates the two sides. Let's head quickly down to Daniel Garb, who may have an update on Jamie McLaren for us. Garby.
Well, it is unusual, Robbie, when you're in search of a goal to take off the all-time leading goal scorer in the A-League. Melbourne City did that with Jamie McLaren. It's not a move they make very often. It didn't seem to be moving at his absolute best tonight, but the standards are high in that regard. I've checked with the Melbourne City bench. They say there's absolutely nothing wrong with him. So clearly a tactical call from Aurelio Vidmar and his team.
Well, I just think he worked hard, but didn't really get any service tonight, did he? Western Sydney, a little stranglehold in that area. Haven't allowed Melbourne City to pick their passes and find his runs.
Well, they're not a side, as a rule, that cross as much as others. Oh, as Nabu and Valentino Yule have a little coming together. They like to play through the middle. They've got some very silky ball players from the likes of Arslan and Saki. And their wingers, who are so quick in Natel and Yakulish, are also very direct at running. Now Yunus into the game, released by Simmons. Yunus one-on-one with Galloway. Tried to stand him up, but the championship winning defender did well. Arslan rides the challenge of Kleur. Lopane inviting Talbot forward. Boo wants it short, it doesn't come. Saki again with Curtis Good. Big switch for Naboot, who gets there. It's a great cross back. Really had to stretch and motor to get there. That's been kept in play by Leo Natel. His early cross back towards Caputo. Kleur's header, helped on by Simmons. And it's Galloway who's making way for Ben Maceo, who comes on, so it's an attacking move. A little note as well for Andrew Naboo with the new tactics.
It says score.
That's why he hit it under his shorts. Got to keep it simple when desperate times call for desperate measures. Corner to come. Now Andrew Naboo gets to have another look. And perhaps it was a little more complicated than that, Daniel McRae. Hamza Saki with the corner. Jorge Arslan just taking on some water behind the goal. The referee says we've made it through 85 minutes. Let's keep it clean at the back. Saki's ball, near post, headed away by Kleur. Maceo with Talbot. Oh, the pass is poor. A chance for Yule. Certainly understood the need for intensity in these final minutes and defensive duties to be done. Clisby up towards Ninkovic. Relante did well, and again it just typifies the 86 minutes that have preceded it. Western Sydney have been that little bit hungrier, first to every ball. Saki again. Into the feet of Naboo. They get away with it, City. It was a low percentage pass that was repelled, and again you see that they are knocking on a shut door at the moment. Bonatig trying to beat and succeeding in beating Naboo in the air. Curtis Good. Saki. Back outside. Then Maceo. His cross is good. Plenty of pace on it towards Naboo and Caputo. How they would love a Hamza Saki special. Ball back post. Simmons header this time. Curtis Good. He has one goal this season as well. It came against Brisbane.
Well, they're throwing bodies forward, aren't they? It's just changed, gone to a back three, City. Maceo on one side high. Who's gone more central, like a 3-5-2, but wing-backs really high, playing as wingers. Western Sydney saying, we'll break us down.
In it comes Marcelo with the thumping defensive header, and the flags up for offside against the City attackers in the middle. Paramount Plus player index for the moment. Parius and that winning goal Jamie Young, the man he beat, is there as well. He's had to work hard. Young, he's made a number of saves, most of them straight at him, to be fair. Bonatic has been exceptional at the back. So has Simmons. Brilante's work hard in the middle of the park. It's been a workmanlike match of football.
It has.
Still plenty to talk about, though. And it's not finished yet. Talbot with the hands raised questioningly. What am I looking at here? Saki, that's a great pass. Nabu with Lupane. Brilliant ball from Saki. Talbot's cross deflected. Bonatic with the header. Talbot taking out Brillante. Clisby does well though, putting his head in there. Ninkovic pushed over by Hamza Saki. That's what Milos Ninkovic is there for as well.
Well, mine, there was 2 or 3 fouls in there that could have been called, and eventually Ninkovic uses his body well.
Well, he's got the skills. Ninkovic is able to put his foot on the ball and hold it up. Minutes of stoppage time announced, as it's all the way back to Jamie Young again. Oh, he's been caught there by Marcus Yunus, who apologises and will get a yellow card for his troubles. It will soak up a few more seconds.
Well, it'll be added on, won't it? But it was definitely late, and I tell you what, the way he goes in there, he's lucky that he goes across the front of Jamie Young and doesn't get full connection, because that would have been a straight red.
Yeah, he did catch him with that second leg coming through, but
Now that, yep.
now the referee.
Look at that. That trailing leg comes through.
This definitely caught him.
Yeah. Well, I think he's lucky he went across, as I said, across the front there, because that was very, very close. He was in the air, studs up, but yellow card probably fair at this stage.
Mazzeo can't keep it in. It'll be a throw for Jack Clisby. The Western Sydney Wanderers, and Clisby just taking another couple of seconds to slow things down. The last 2 goals Western Sydney conceded were both from outside the box. They have defended their penalty box once again this evening very, very well. They demand of their opposition that it has to be something special. Melbourne City found that special last week against Western United, but they haven't been able to so far. Will that change? Mazzeo, Bonatic again throwing himself at everything. Gets a little tap of encouragement. Keep going from Josh Brillante. Saki's ball near post, the glancing header from Arslan. A little bit of panic at the back from Gabriel Cleur. Margouche was going to claim it.
Melbourne City players claiming a handball here. Of course, VAR will be checking. They were adamant there was a hand involved from a Western Sydney player.
Well, it was Tolgay Arslan who had the initial glancing header at the near post. Let's have a look. There it is off the back. Now, has that hit the arm of Josh Brillante? Away from the body. Now, City players have just seen that on the big screen again. Curtis Good has come charging across. Let's see what referee Jonathan Barrero makes of this. He wants to keep everyone at distance so he can hear what's being said to him. The 3 minutes initially given have expired. There was always going to be more. Now have a look at Brillante's right arm. Has that hit him? That's not the best angle. The referee is going to come across and have a look at it himself. Now it will be a question of angles, which has been a talking point. Can we see? This one might be the one to tell us as well. Is it Natel or is it Brillante, the former City midfielder? It's come off Arslan. Does it hit Natel?
Brillante.
It does look to hit the arm.
Yeah. As Brillante has his arm out with the player. As normal, in my opinion, as normal action is your arms out with the player. Now, it's the interpretation here. Is that natural?
There you see it in real speed. What do you make of that? It clearly hits the arm because you see him pull it out of the way. Or get knocked out of the way by the ball. It's ricocheting around. It may have come off Leo Natel as well. I don't think there's much doubt it hits the arm, and these are nervous moments at the back now. Josh Brillante is looking at the big screen. The referee is taking a long time, all the time it needs, because this decision could decide the match. No penalty. Corner. Melbourne City cannot believe it. Jamie Young's going to get a booking for taking his complaints too far. Well, they've already had 4 penalties this season. City, they've only scored 2 of them. They won't get a 5th. Not yet, anyway. But there's another corner to come. Well, Marco Rudan, well, he might. Whew. They already felt VAR was not on their side in the 3rd minute. Saki with the ball in. It's a good ball. And it's Marcelo that heads it away. And Western Sydney hold firm in the face of a second half where City Blue had the ball, made the running, but couldn't find that moment of magic they needed, like they did a week ago, to come from behind and get the win. Western Sydney returned to winning ways. Western Sydney climbed to 2nd on the standings, ahead of the rest of the matches in this Unite round. The double-headers still to come tomorrow night and on Sunday. Dylan Parias, a match winner for the 2nd time this season with Western Sydney, and just a 2nd defeat for Aurelio Vidmar at the helm of Melbourne City. Marcelo is still having words left and right. Aurelio Vidmar, the vastly experienced Socceroo, has been around and seen it all before as well. Winners are grinners, and Marcelo is that. It's all finished here at CommBank. Western Sydney Wanderers won, courtesy of Dylan Parias. Melbourne City 0. And let's head straight down to Daniel Garb with our first post-match interview.
Robbie, thank you. How quickly things can change in football. A couple of weeks ago, Daniel Margush was 3rd choice here at Western Sydney. In between the sticks tonight, you just kept a clean sheet against Melbourne City of all teams for a massive 3 points. That must feel fantastic, that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Obviously, the boys put in a good shift tonight. It was hard work, but we grinded it out. We got through. I just want to say as well to, give a big, you know, we're looking after Jack Gibson. You know, he did his ACL last week, so the whole club's around him, and we're going to look after him, and, you know, as us keepers do as well. So, Jacko, we're looking out for you, mate. We got your back. But, yeah, it was a good shift for the boys tonight.
So you keep a clean sheet. How nervous was the wait, though, at the end as the VAR reviewed that handball?
Yeah, it was very nervy. Look, I didn't really see it too clearly, so I'll go in and have a look at it. But, you know, I'm very thankful that it went our way for once, and, you know, that's football.
Talk us through the last couple of weeks. Lawrence Thomas goes to the Asian Cup, the injury to Jack, which is devastating. You get the call up, and you've played a fair bit of A-League football before, but talk us through that whole process.
Well, that's the thing for me. It was obviously, you know, training every day. I'm still ready to play. Like, I'm training my backside off, you know, really working hard for when that opportunity comes, and I always believe it will come. I know I'm good enough. I know I've got what it takes. So it's just, you know, like you said, getting an opportunity, you've got to take it. So, you know, I've got to run in games now, hopefully. So hopefully I can just put my best foot forward, and whatever happens, you know. I'm just buzzed to be back out there again.
Feels like you had a strong game plan defensively, the whole team, to really try and starve the Melbourne City attackers of space. Talk us through that.
Look, City are a quality team. They've got, you know, they got firepower everywhere, so they're a really good side. We knew what we were up against today. We worked hard during the week. Tactically, I think we got a spot on. The boys nailed it as well, and at the end of the day, like the effort and the grind was there. That's what got us over the line.
Big win, big night for you. Well done.
That's it. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Daniel Margush there. Andrew Naboot's going to join me as well. G'day, Andy. Talk about things changing very quickly in football. I know it's not the result you want tonight, but at one stage we thought your season was over and you're back in January. It must be a lovely feeling to be wearing that shirt again in anger.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than being out here with this team, and you know, like you said, I was supposed to be out for the whole season, and you know, any games and any minutes I can spend in this shirt is a blessing and a bonus. So I'm you know, ecstatic to be back with the team, and you know, it would have been nicer to get something out of the game, but nonetheless, it's good to be back.
How did you recover so quickly?
Lots of hours in the gym, and I've spent my whole career doing all the right things. So you know, I know my body inside and out, and I know what I need to do to get back, and you know, I've done it my whole career, and this is no different. What
did you make of the decision at the end there?
From first glance, I thought it was handball. I thought his arm was out, but you know, obviously the ref's the boss in the middle. He makes the decisions, and you know, what he says goes. So I'm not going to argue with that.
Overall, it seemed like you couldn't quite get your synergy in attack tonight. What was missing?
I just think they were really well structured. You know, coming here is always difficult, especially against a team like this who are so well organised. And you know, I thought we came out a different team in the second half. We really pinned them back, and we created a lot more chances, but it just didn't fall for us. So hopefully next week.
Thanks, Andrew. Great to have you back, mate.
Appreciate it.